Okay, everyone, we're going to talk about an issue that is it's a big deal here. It's a big deal at Union Grove High School. It's a big deal in schools across the nation. Again, we take a lot of pride in being a school that has high academic instructional standards. So with that said, there's a lot of research out there now with electronic devices being a distraction in the classroom. It's out there. I mean, there's nothing that says it's a good thing. Now, don't get me wrong. We have Chromebooks now at Henry County. Everybody's got a Chromebook, so we do not need our electronic devices in the classroom. We don't have a problem if a student wants to bring their watch, their what do you call them, the iWatch, whatever they're called. But most of them have their phones and that sort of thing. As long as you're using them in between classes, in the morning, in the commons area, even at lunchtime. But when we're in class, and that includes instructional focus, when you're in class, we're going to expect you to caddy those phones, and we're going to talk about that here in just a second. You may or may not be aware of this, parents, some of the things that go on with cell phones. We are, because it's our business. Unfortunately, there's a lot of bad that comes with them. Students are using them for cheating. They're using them for sexting, cyberbullying. There are phones that are being stolen. But with that said, with our phone caddy policy, I'm proud to say that last year not one theft was reported from a phone that was caddied. That doesn't mean it won't ever happen. And if it does, you know, I really truly hate that, but we are going to continue this policy because we believe that if you bring a device to school and it's not needed instructionally, you're bringing it at your own risk. So,
yeah, Mr. Fletcher, you mentioned a lot of ugly things with cell phone uses, but to include in that, you know, we don't like to think about it, but students are making deals for drug exchange.
Yes, they are.
And they are also making plans to meet up with other students for fighting purposes and gang affiliation and initiations
and various promiscuous reasons
and other reasons, again, that we don't like to think about.
Right.
We don't want to paint that bad picture. We've got a great school here, but we're not going to tell you we're perfect. We do have, unfortunately, students that are involved in all these things that we stated. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to be proactive. We're trying to clean that up. So with that said, if Mr. Freeman can show you, this is what a phone caddy looks like in the classroom. It hangs somewhere close to a teacher, where a teacher can actually be strategic as far as having the students put them in the caddy and making sure that they can kind of supervise them the best they can. It is the student's responsibility to caddy at the beginning of each period, and at the end of each period, when the teacher gives them instructions, they can remove their device from the caddy. Now, this is not optional, and I want to make sure that we understand this. This is an expectation here at Union Grove High School. If your child, for whatever reason, decides they are not going to caddy that phone. Let's say we're the first week of school, and that little pocket number 4, which would belong to your child, is not being used. And we're going to ask our teachers to reach out to you and that sort of thing. So if you know that your child is carrying the device and they're not caddying it, at some point it's going to happen. They're going to get caught. And when they get caught with it, then we are going to give them consequences for being insubordinate, because it's an expectation. So we want to make sure that you are aware that we're very serious about this policy, because we think it is the best it's the best practice as instructionally when it comes to electronic devices.
And to say this too, if we go back and look at the actual data, the disciplinary data from the year before we received the phone caddies to now, and we've noticed a significant drop in the amounts of incidents, like Ms. Smith said earlier, where people were meeting up for various reasons in restrooms and whatnot. So the numbers support the actual policy itself in order to continue to promote positive academic gains.
Well, and just minimizing the distraction of having the device, even if the student is not allowed to have it out in class.